A warm welcome to Energy Frontiers this week. I am Justina Okechukwu. This program has been brought to you with support from the African Energy Chamber. We begin with some of the biggest energy news on the African continent and around the world. Eco Atlantic Oil and Gas has signed a farm-out agreement where its subsidiary, Azinam Limited, will sell 13.75% of Block 3B/4B in the Orange Basin offshore South Africa. The deal is part of a larger 57% farm down with their partners, Africa Oil and Ricocure, of which Total Energies and Qatar Energy will become operators of the block. Tullow Oil says it expects 5 new Jubilee wells to come on stream this year at the Deepwater Jubilee field offshore Ghana, after the oil exploration company recorded a loss of $110 million in 2023. Italian energy major Eni says it made a major oil and natural gas find in the Kalau field offshore Côte d'Ivoire, following a meeting in Abidjan between the CEO, Claudio Descalzi, and the Ivorian president, Alassane Ouattara. The discovery stands as the second largest in the West African country, following the Baleine field discovered by Eni back in September 2021. Nigeria has implemented new policy directives aimed at making the country a top destination for oil and natural gas investment in Africa. The new policy reform involves fiscal incentives for oil and gas projects, streamlining and shortening contracting procedures, and promotes cost efficiency in local content requirements. Algerian National Oil Company, Sonatrach, and Chinese oil and gas group, Sinopec, have signed a memorandum of understanding to boost their collaboration in hydrocarbon exploration and production. The MOU sets the stage for the conclusion of a contract for the Hassi Barkane Nord exploration area in Algeria. The United States Agency for International Development has announced a $1 million grant to Namibia Hydrogen Fund managers to support the $1.15 billion SDG Namibia One Fund, the dedicated funding partner to the Namibian government's green hydrogen initiatives. The Federal Republic of Somalia and Turkey on Thursday signed an onshore and offshore oil and gas exploration deal to further strengthen Turkey's presence in the Horn of Africa with new collaborations in the field of energy. And that was a summary of your energy news headlines. Next on Energy Frontiers, Nigeria's Transcorp Power PLC is looking to deepen its play in the West African power pool. More on this in a moment. Welcome back. Nigeria's Transcorp Power PLC says the company's membership in the West African Power Pool has been instrumental in allowing them sell electricity to neighboring countries, generating foreign exchange and contributing to regional energy security. Peter Ikenga is the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Transcorp Power PLC. I caught up with Peter after the official listing ceremony of the power generation company at the Nigerian Exchange Group this week, and he told me how much progress is being made with the West African Power Pool.
Thank you, Justina. So as you know, we joined the West Africa Power Pool in 2018, and this allows us to be able to trade regionally, cross-border electricity trading across the West Africa sector. So currently we sell power to Republic of Benin. On the average, we export about 100 megawatts of power. And, so the strategic value of this relationship is to make sure we do not have stranded power within our plant. So we have more than enough generating capacity to generate to the national grid. And so what we've done is, as part of our efforts to increase our operational efficiency, continue to find new markets within and outside the country for the power that we generate within our plant. So our involvement in West Africa Power Pool has been a very monumental positive step towards continuing to improve the level of financial returns that we see within our operations.
So I wanted to ask about having exceeded the 5-year target of 670 megawatts to 680. What is the new target in terms of additional capacity, and how much is Transcorp Group looking to generate further?
Okay, so indeed, so you pointed out we exceeded the minimum target of 670 megawatts. We actually did generate up to 701 megawatts. So we did surpass that by a margin. And so with the developments within the electricity sector, the liberalization of the sector, what we expect to see is increasing strategic relationships with the distribution companies, whereby we have free market flow of electricity and also market returns. And with that, we plan to embark on additional capacity recovery in the plant, and also have plans for future expansion of the plant, improving the operational efficiency of our plants. We're looking at potentially combined cycle just to increase the level of gas efficiency and utilization of gas within our plant. Also keys into our ESG message, just making sure that for the same molecule of gas we can generate a little bit more power in the output. So you're going to see increased capacity, you're going to see improved operational efficiency, you're going to see increased financial returns to our shareholders and all the selling public. That's what to expect from Transcorp.
Okay, so I just want to ask, with a seat on the WAP executive board, how will Transcorp Power leverage this position to benefit both Nigeria and the region?
So I think a seat at the WAP gives us the opportunity to influence policy objectives within the West Africa Power region itself. Again, it's also a testament to the value and the brand and the strength that we bring to the electricity sector. Transcorp Power is recognized not just in Nigeria, but across the entire West Africa continent. Something we're truly proud of, and will continue to represent our country on the West Africa Power Pool.
Lastly, looking ahead, what specific initiatives and projects are we looking at when it comes to leading the front in that regard?
With respect to projects, so we're looking at a number of opportunities right now. We're looking at opportunities within the renewable energy space. We're looking at opportunity within the hydro space and a number of additional opportunities. It's still early days, but we do have lofty plans around expansion, diversifying our energy mix, ensuring we're not 100% dependent on gas for power generation, but more importantly, also keying in, to sustainable development goals as well and aspirations. But overall, you're going to continue to see an increase in our capacity. We're going to deepen our relationships with our strategic partners, ensure we have a free market system that also encourages us to continue to make further investments.
Does that mean in terms of collaboration with other power producers?
Collaboration with power producers, but more importantly, collaboration with the distribution companies.
When we return, experts discuss the role of women in Africa's sustainable energy future.
We are done dreaming of an industrialized Africa. No more enduring long journeys in darkness. No more imagining life without constant power. We are done. We are done. Done tolerating 24 hours without power, load shedding, blackouts, and power cuts. Enough. Imagine a life where our abundant natural resources can't power a generation. We can't cope with that reality. 600 million Africans still lack access to power. We have have the solution. It's time to turn imagination into action. African Energy Week 2024 is the platform to implement change, sign deals, and take decisive action and implement. Join us. Invest in African energies. Energy growth through an enabling environment and be part of the movement that brings hope to millions across the continent. It's not just about power, it's about empowering lives and giving African hope. Be there to witness the transformation. African Energy Week 2024, where imagination becomes reality. Secure your seat now. Don't miss out on African Energy Week 2024. Visit our website and buy your tickets today. Let's light up Africa and create a brighter future together.
Project. At the time you need to build that project. Sign, baby, sign.
This is Energy Frontiers. The theme for this year's International Women's Day was Invest in Women and Accelerate Progress. And this connects strongly to the energy sector in a lot of ways, from oil, gas, renewable, and even mining. But while some growth are noticed in women's participation in the energy industry, there's a lot more grounds to cover. But how can governments invest more in women and accelerate progress for a sustainable energy future? I sat down to a panel discussion with 3 exceptional women in the week, women who are shaping Africa's sustainable energy future, and they share their insights as well as their perspectives on the crucial role that women should play in driving the continent's energy transition. Here's an excerpt from our conversation. As an African female entrepreneur, what are some specific challenges you have faced with regards to access to funding and resources to help you scale in your business?
Yeah, when we look at funding and other resources as a female or as a woman operating in an industry where capital is quite capital intensive, especially when you're in the upstream business, that's where I am. It's quite capital intensive. As a woman, in terms of raising funds, the knowledge, usually there's a gap in terms of knowledge. The question is, where do I start? Or where do I get the money from? Who do I talk to? So if we have more, I can see some financial institutions have women specific grants, funding, but not all. But most of us women, we are not aware of such. So the more we get aware of, the better, because raising funds is actually very difficult. Starting as an entrepreneur, especially in Africa, it's quite hard. And we need to be trained to know where and how to access the funds. I think there's a gap as well in terms of training.
Okay, so now that would make me ask you another question. So what can be done to fast track investment for small and women-led businesses in order to help them scale at large?
I would say to establish dedicated funds for women. It's easier for women to tackle that. Like I mentioned earlier, there are some institutions that are already doing that. I would say, for example, in Nigeria, the NCDMD, they have a petty grant for women-owned businesses in Nigeria. That's actually promoting women. So you can actually access that. I think what some women may not know, what is important is the awareness that there's such a grant that exists somewhere for women to actually access. Like also offer capacity building programs. So women, I mentioned the lack of understanding the requirements, what does it take to actually raise funds. We need to offer that training as well, and to also provide training and mentorship and technical assistance for women to enhance our skills to understand what it takes to raise funds. Then I will also say partnership. I talked about collaboration among women. Even if you don't go into partnership among women, you can also do that with men as well, because they are stronger, right?
Thank you, Grace. I would like to ask Amina right now, do you see you've been in the oil and gas space for a while now, and you have done well, I must say, for yourself. But do you see more women emerging in the oil and gas space? Particularly, of course, we know that over time there has been a rise, but of course it's not still enough. But in involvement in bringing innovative and out-of-the-box solutions to critical energy challenges, do you see more women emerging in this space? And what does the future look like?
Yeah, I see more women, but you're absolutely right in saying that it's not enough. I mean, last year, for example, at our Energy Intelligence Forum in London, we awarded Vicky Holub, the CEO of Oxy, as Best Executive of the Year. And it was really refreshing. She was the first female executive to ever win that award since we had our conference decades ago. So it was really refreshing to see that a woman reach that position. And I'm a big believer, again, in meritocracy. I don't like, whenever we have sessions, for example, at conferences about the women in energy, I think that's very cliche. We should just, focus on our skill, our education. It's great if our organizations and our governments support us, have special programs to help promote our skills, because women have been left behind in many industries, not just oil and gas, for many, many decades. So we deserve this kind of push or help. But at the end of the day, I want us to see eye to eye. I want people to, look beyond gender and just look at the skills, the passion that we have, and what we have to offer. And for my just experience as, being Egyptian, I can tell you, at least in the media sector, covering everything from politics to oil and gas to finance, women tend to have something more to prove. They work harder, and all the seniors that I've worked, my superiors and bosses, always said that we prefer to hire women compared to men because of that drive.
That's impressive. So I would like to also push the same question back to Dr. Victoria. What role do you see African women playing in shaping the future of the extractive industry to ensure an equitable, orderly, and just transition for all? Of course, we are in the face of where everybody's pushing for a just energy transition. So what role do you see African women playing to shape this trajectory?
Yeah, so women do have a major role to play, because when you're talking about a just transition, the question would be, what does justice mean? And justice is not just about the various stakeholders, but it's also ensuring that the host communities, the people in the communities where the extractives are, where the resources are, can also see justice. For a very long time, on the African continent, we have seen that many countries that are actually rich with energy resources and mineral resources are the poorest. So with this just transition, you cannot just transition from one energy use to another without first addressing the pertinent challenges in the way you've been managing the resources. So the justice should be how a community is benefiting. And women have a greater role to play, because if you look at these communities, they're mostly rural communities where the resources are, and they're the poorest. And it's the women who are involved in the upbringing of their families and everything. So justice should start at ensuring that the communities are well taken care of. There is developmental infrastructure in the areas where the resources are. The other issues that really impede women would be the financial issues and maybe the technical issues, which governments and other stakeholders now can come in to ensure that they are empowered financially to ensure that they have a level playing field when it comes to the development of the energy sector, and also when it comes to transitioning to a low carbon economy in a just way.
The next leg of the Invest in African Energy 2024 Forum returns to Paris on May 14th and 15th, a two-day intensive engagement with industry experts and policymakers from Africa and across the globe to facilitate local content development and advance sustainable energy solutions. Organized by Energy Capital and Power, the forum will seek to foster investment and showcase new exploration discoveries and LNG projects in Africa. while creating opportunities for other forms of energy to achieve a just transition. Go online now and register to participate at the High Level Energy Forum in Paris. And that's how we wrap up this package of Energy Frontiers. We thank you all for watching. Be sure to follow the program on Frontier Africa Report's website, like this video, subscribe to our YouTube, and follow us across all our social media handles as indicated on the screen. I am Justina Okechukwu. I'll see you again soon.